Welcome, really the head of this oversight panel. We have Congressman Edolphus, a Democrat from New York, joining us from Rayburn House on Capitol Hill. And Mr. Towns, thank you again so much for joining us. I know it's been a very busy day for you, but let's just get into this hearing.
Delighted to be with you.
From what you heard from Mr. Toyoda, who says that he's not going to run away from these problems, have you been satisfied?
Well, let me say that I was impressed with the fact that he came voluntarily to the committee, and he seemed to have understood at the end how important this was, and the fact that the American people were very concerned over this whole safety issue. I got the impression that he really felt the impact of it after listening to the members for a long period of time. But the only thing I think that we're really concerned about now is the timetable. We didn't get a feeling that this is going to take place real quickly. He recognized the fact that there's a problem, but how fast or how quick are they going to work it out in terms of solving the problem? However, he indicated that he would talk to the dealers and try and get them to go on 16 hours, in some instances, be able to go around the clock to be able to fix it. But the point is that we made it very clear to him that safety was an issue, and that if people are going to drive these cars, we need to make certain that they're safe in them.
Yeah, Mr. Towns, you keep talking about this problem. What exactly is the problem here? Because to me, it seemed like a lot of congressmen on the panel kept pointing to these accelerated throttles, this electronic issue, whereas Toyota seemingly seems to be pointing to these sticky pedals, these misplaced accelerator pads. What do you think is going on here?
Well, first of all, they pointed out that it was the floor mat initially, and then of course then they were having them accelerating without even having a floor mat in them, and then of course then they said, well, maybe it is the accelerator, and then of course they realized that maybe that was not the case, and then they said now it's the electrical system. That was some question about what's really causing them to accelerate. But the thing is that they're definitely accelerating. People are dying as a result of it, so we have to get to the bottom of it. So we're working, want to let them know that we're going to stay on this until we get some answers, because let's face it, people are not safe.
Yeah. Now, Congressman Towns, it sounds like there's a lot of maybes in your answer and also during the discussions.
Well, I think the only thing that I can say that we were impressed with his coming to the committee and sitting and talking to us. That to me shows some commitment on his part. But the point is that in terms of how fast are we going to get to this corrected, that's another issue. So the point is that he left with the view and feeling in terms of how committed the members of the United States House of Representatives, how committed we were to make certain that this safety issue is not something that we're going to push aside. So I'm hoping that the message is clear, and that we also talked a lot about transparency. When things happen, a lot of times, if they happen in another country, we do not know about it in the United States. For instance, things are happening in Europe, and they said, well, it was the fact that the car is on the right-hand side, the steering wheel is on the right-hand side, that is the issue. But the point is that even if it's happening and the steering wheel is on the right-hand side, we still should know about it in the United States. So that was an issue that we talked about, the transparency. And that's something that we're really going to have to deal with. We talked with the Secretary of Transportation about this issue, who also indicated to us that he was going to go back and he's going to be very aggressive in terms of looking at the problems. But as to me being comfortable, I must admit that I'm still not quite satisfied over the fact that we are not certain as to what and how this problem emanated. And of course, if it's not the floor mat, then if it's not the brakes, then it's the electrical system. And if it's not the electrical system, it's the brakes. But we need to find out.
Yeah, and Congressman Towns, let's talk about the finger pointing here, because you pointed out that we did see Ray LaHood testify as well before President Akio Toyoda. But, you know, for those who want blame, who want to know who's at fault here, is it NHTSA's or is it Toyota?
Well, the point is that I'm concerned about some things that are happening with NHTSA. Many of the employees from NHTSA go and work for a car dealership, a company. They either work for after they leave NHTSA. So I'm concerned about that. There seemed to be a little sweetheart kind of relationship, which we need to really look into, which I'm hoping that it's not as bad as we think it is, but we've had witnesses to come and testify, and they said that people just come and they stay in NHTSA for a while, and they leave and they go to these auto dealers. And of course, that is something that we have to be careful about, because we can't have those sweetheart kind of arrangements.
Yeah, and Congressman Towns, we have about 40
issue.
seconds here. Yeah, but let me just ask you, out of all this, out of all these hearings, I mean, what changes do you want?
Well, the change I want more than anything else is the fact that the commitment and dedication has to be there from NHTSA, has to be there from the car dealers to make certain that people are safe. And of course, NHTSA has an obligation and responsibility to oversee this, and that if they do not have the resources to do it, we need to make certain that they get the resources. They do not have the engineers, we need to make certain they get the engineers. Whatever they need, we need to make certain that they have it, because the safety of the American people, cannot be sacrificed.
Yes, Congressman Towns, thank you so much. We're going to break here. Stay with us.